Muchas gracias, señora.
Thank you so much, Madam President. May I first and foremost bring the greetings of our President, Nicolás Maduro, and convey on behalf of the Venezuelan government our congratulations to His Excellency Ismail Halmama Saud, appointed to conduct our deliberations on the occasion of the 18th General Conference. Furthermore, we extend our warm felt thanks to the United Arab Emirates on their warm reception and hospitality and faultless conduct of the event. Under your leadership, we will, I think, have deep-seated ethical convictions borne in mind. We've seen this reflected in the documents, and we congratulate you on having achieved the adoption of this outstanding document, the Abu Dhabi Declaration, that will guide us and serve as a reference in the years to come. The Bolivarian government of Venezuela, furthermore, brings the warm thanks of my government to Mr. Lee Yong, in recognition of his many achievements, and he may rely on the support of my delegation. Madam President, today we meet here on the occasion of the 18th General Conference of UNIDO to see how developing countries can take on board the fourth industrial resolution in a sustainable manner, promoting North-South and South-South cooperation. But the United Nations, a body that was created to do away with trade and industrial discrepancies, is now in the full digital revolution, but up against colonial models of economic exploitation that relentlessly seek to take over the resources of developing countries in order to satisfy the interests of a world minority, undermining the foundations of the multilateral model and the possibilities of achieving success in a sustainable and inclusive manner. In this context, towards the end of the 20th century, Venezuela embarked on a process of industrial diversification based on justice and the fair sharing out of the resources of my country to bolster national income and to have agro-industry, petrochemicals, and mining, among others. Starting with the results of this process of change, the economic indicators in my country began to point to major progress, and we have production now and various production categories. Furthermore, we received important recognition from the United Nations bodies. The Venezuelan Index of Human Development is qualified high. I'm one of the 29 countries to have achieved the Millennium Development Goals, and the first country of Latin America in terms of inequality coefficients, the second Latin American country in terms of university enrollment, as stated by UNESCO, and the third among Latin American countries with the lowest poverty rate, according to ECLAC. However, in 2015, the year marked the onset of a new phase for my country when the United States began to impose unilateral coercive measures against Venezuela. At this point in time, Venezuela was deprived from access to international credit and trade, and this had an adverse impact on the development of our industry. Such steps curtailed virtually all aspects of Venezuelan life at this juncture, including my country's participation in fora such as UNIDO. Despite our resolve to discharge our duties, we don't have a mechanism available for Venezuela to make the corresponding payments to the organization. Madam, the United Nations system has recognized the adverse impact and illicit nature of unilateral coercive natures that some impose on others with a clear purpose of bringing about a change in regime. We are satisfied to note the fact that the Abu Dhabi declaration recognizes the fact that unilateral coercive measures violate international law, are in breach of the Charter of United Nations, and stand in the way of economic and social development of developing countries. On the basis of this declaration, UNIDO, as the United Nations agency, the main purpose of which is to bring about sustainable and inclusive development, must start to track, measure, note, and halt the pernicious effects on people's industry, businesses, and development. For all countries that have fallen victim to these unfair measures, the list is long and unfortunately growing longer every day. We propose a debate focusing on the economic and commercial impact that such coercive measures have on possibilities of bringing about growth and industrial development. Venezuela is a stalwart believer in multilateralism in order to settle disputes and seek joint elements to bring peoples closer and invites all of us to work jointly to minimize the effects of coercive measures. Madam, to counter the impact of coercive measures, Venezuela in 2017 embarked on the development of 15 economic and social programs to rearrange the national productive system, make it less reliant on oil, and diversify as a result of national priorities and the economic aspects that we wish to focus on. In this manner, in 2018, my country embarked, together with UNIDO, on giving special momentum to the productive sector in agriculture, identifying 7 main areas of consumption products that are important for Venezuelans. This country project is a space where we find harmony and we bring together the interests of public players, private institutions, associations, and other agents to achieve the elements that bring us together in the national interest and to benefit the country. We are pleased to bring to your attention, Madam President and esteemed delegates, that this country program, which we entered into with UNIDO, was supported from the organization's side from the very first day. And it's thanks to the support of well-disposed countries and the efforts of UNIDO that we are on the brink of embarking on the third phase, where 5 agricultural activities with value chain support will be embarked on, coffee and cocoa among them, and there will be the required certification to provide us with international recognition, recognizing the fact that coffee and cocoa of Venezuela are among the best. The PCP Venezuela has entered into is an example of technical cooperation without interference, with openness, understanding international realities, and respect for the priorities and Venezuelan standards. And Venezuela is gratified and proud to report on the achievements. Just a year after the program commenced, we are beginning to reap the benefits. In addition to our thanks to the Director General, the Department for Latin America, the technicians and the management staff of UNIDO, we encourage them to continue to place their trust in Venezuela. They may rely on our commitment, and we will give this program greater depth and make it broader. In the years to come, we will take on board a variety of components that span the range of subjects of interest to this forum and important to our country: renewable energy, petrochemicals, and pharmaceutical products, to mention but a few. Venezuela is certain that UNIDO will adopt and take upon itself that particular challenge and all the contents of the Agenda 2030. For my country, we're joining in the Fourth Industrial Revolution. We're committed to continue our efforts to respond to the challenges that appear every day and that we can only overcome in the context of joint work, and therefore only possible in the context of a multilateral model. Artificial intelligence and robotics are just one aspect of emerging technologies that have a deep-seated impact on this fourth industrial revolution. It's characterized by the swift pace and the scope that it has. So we can't simply have this twofold approach: accept and live with technology or reject technology. On the contrary, the fourth revolution should be an invitation to give some thought to the fate of mankind and how developed countries and developing countries, communities, organizations, and businesses can all stand together and work to reap maximum benefits from this and minimize the risk. Thank you for your attention, Madam.
Thank you, Ambassador.